they're quite anxious about the way things have developed on the pitch. McCarthy's throw. Cascarino rising for the header. Up goes McGrath too. And it might come to Staunton. And rebounding away for the corner.
That was rubbish. That was Ireland at their worst when we had the ball and we had it most of the time, but kept giving it away.
Well, I think a lot of people got it wrong. And it's amazing what you can say on television. What you actually say and what people think you say is two different things altogether. What Eamon actually said at half-time was that he was ashamed for Irish football in the way that we played against Egypt. And people then, I saw it in the paper afterwards, that Eamon Dunphy said he was ashamed to be Irish.
We should be playing football the way these lads can play football. We have the option of having Ronnie Whelan, Liam Brady and David O'Leary on that pitch, and that would be 8-0. Now, we're not trying to play. It's rubbish. Anyone who sends a team out to play like that should be ashamed of themselves.
Has been gained by the Irish, but what it means is that the table stays exactly as it was at the very start of the tournament.
Do you feel that the level of criticism of the performance has...
Don't tell me about criticism, because I haven't read any of it yet. The only criticism I've heard from is what you say. As far as I know, I've never read any of it. I haven't heard any of it. We've had a report back that Eamon Dunphy on the television was about as much relevance to us as a fly on the windowsill. In Giles, he wasn't very pleased. You know, that's the criticism we've heard.
You don't want to go to the great festival of world football and play like that. It's wrong. And here we were doing it. We'd waited our life to get to World Cup finals. Was this what we were waiting for?
I got shanghaied upstairs to a press conference, which is when we had the big confrontation with a little guy that writes for a newspaper in Dublin. And a guy that I'd said that I wouldn't deal with him anymore after he wrote a scurrilous article and gave us all papers on the plane coming back from the European Championships in Germany. And I actually acknowledged him. For the first time in 2 or 3 years, I acknowledged him. And hell broke loose. He's a credited journalist. He should be able to ask questions. I said, well, you make your mind up. It's either your press conference or mine. If it's my press conference, I don't want to talk. If it's your press conference, I don't want to answer questions. And I walked out on I didn't realise the repercussions it would have and the aggravation and how famous I would make him.
I said that the style of play didn't reflect the qualities of the players in the side, and that it was embarrassing and shameful that an Irish team with players like Ronnie Whelan and David O'Leary and Paul McGrath should be playing in this style, and that finally against Egypt it was revealed to be bankrupt. I've been one of his biggest supporters.
You have?
Because I believe in pragmatism, and the guys who... I wrote a piece for the Sunday Times a few weeks ago which was almost an apologia for him.
I didn't stop him sitting and listen to the questions that were being asked. I just wouldn't answer a question from him.
Can you comment why that is so?
Well, I don't like him. And I don't have to work with people I don't like. I think he's a bitter little man.
I've been a journalist for 12 years. I've written best-selling book. New York Times best-selling book.
It's a manager's job, I think, to answer questions, and no matter which way they come or whether you don't like them or not, it's, you know, you've got to try and do it the best as possible, you know. And he's always had a great relationship with a lot of the media here, you know. But now and then, you know, you've got to answer the awkward questions. And I think in many ways he's a person that he doesn't like criticism. I don't think many people do, but I don't think he handles that very well.
I was actually enjoying myself up until you were mentioning that, you know. His criticisms, I think he does it... he obviously does it to be controversial. The Egyptian match is funny, actually, because it came out one of the best lines ever, because apparently he said he was ashamed to be Irish, so... I said, well, if there's any consolation, we're ashamed he's Irish as well.
This was a great national celebration. The people who were happily enjoying that in, you know, street parties and that. They didn't want to hear the bad news, they only wanted to hear the good news. But I was addressing myself and the football community here, which is maybe 10% of the people who are watching, and we felt that was our obligation. I had that kind of job to do of calling the damn thing in the middle of it, in the middle of the party, saying, you know, this wine's not good, or there's a rat in the sausages. But I mean, that was, someone had to do it, I guess.
He's actually got at the Irish team on a number of occasions, by the way he's criticised the team, by the way he's criticised Jack. But I would say it's never ever affected the performance of the team, and usually they've gone on and played better because of it.